Welcome again, and thank you for joining today's demonstration. My name is Beth Stapleton, and I'm the Director of Marketing at Northland and Companies. I'm excited to introduce you to our newest solution, ECMS. Also joining me today is Tate Padilla, IT Coordinator at Waltech, who's part of the Northland family of companies. Let's get started. So today, law enforcement agencies are facing mounting pressure to manage growing volumes of digital evidence, streamline documentation, and maintain compliance, all while staying efficient and secure. That's where ECMS comes in. So what is ECMS? ECMS, which stands for Evidence Collection Management System, is a secure cloud-based platform which enables law enforcement professionals to manage dictation, documentation, and digital evidence, including audio, video, and case files with both desktop and mobile access. It's more than just a tool for law enforcement, it's a complete workflow solution. For mobile dictation to evidence management, ECMS is packed with features that simplify your workflow and keep your data secure. It's fully CJIS compliant and integrates seamlessly with your records management system, interview recording platforms, and body-worn and in-car camera upload, ensuring all evidence is centralized, searchable, and protected. Whether you're in the field or at headquarters, ECMS keeps your team connected. Officers can dictate reports on the go, upload evidence, and collaborate in real time. Now let's take a quick look at ECMS in action. Tate will walk you through dictated reports to digital evidence management. Tate?
Thank you, Beth. Alrighty. Hello and welcome everyone. So as mentioned, ECMS is almost entirely web-based with every user going to the same website for access, regardless if you're an author, a typist, or an admin. ECMS does have the ability to migrate data and users from Premier Scribe and or WinScribe. Depending on the requirements, we feel confident it's possible to migrate from other platforms as well per request. Now, it is supported across the majority of standard devices and equipment, such as all the common smartphones, handhelds, foot controls, etc. The exception to that would be Apple, Mac, PC. There is no current plan to provide support for Mac, but if the market changes, as will we. Every web interface you will see today is supported in Edge and Chrome, with Firefox soon to come. So the question is, how does it work? Well, let's dive in. Specifically, we'll start off with the author side and inputting data into the system. So let's jump right into things with the uploader. So the ECMS uploader is the application that's going to be used for uploading dictations from either your computer or a handheld dictation device. As mentioned, we do support the latest and majority of models of Olympus and Philips handhelds. There's a local version and a web version of the uploader. Both create a local backup of each dictation to ensure there's no data loss. The local version runs in the background and launches automatically once a handheld is recognized. You do have the ability to enter custom metadata such as report numbers or case types. There's also an express mode, which just sends everything through with the default options. So you can see here that it does recognize my Olympus handheld is already connected. It's pulled in the dictation from my handheld. I can easily check this box, apply whatever metadata I want to down here, select apply to select the file, and then click upload. At that point, it will go through and upload that dictation to whatever case I have selected here. Now, I do also have the ability to easily upload external audio from my computer, which I can do so by just clicking Browse Folder up here, and I can select an entire folder to import from, or I can just select Browse File, at which point it'll allow me to navigate out to my file share. And that is the uploader. It really is that simple to upload from the computer or the handheld. Moving on, we'll jump into the ECMS recorder. So the ECMS recorder is going to be used for Philips speech mics or any microphone recognized by your computer. You have the ability to expand it or minimize it. You also have the ability to minimize, of course, altogether, and also night and day mode, just adjusting some of the basic view. You can also set it to priority by checking this box here. And you can also set it up to prompt for or require custom metadata. So if I were, as soon as I click record, you can see the audio waves begin moving there. You can set it up so that it prompts for any custom metadata at that point to be entered with the recording. Additionally, I can play it back here, have all these easy controls. I can select the cursor here. As soon as I drag back, I can go into overwrite or insert mode to allow me to easily overwrite or insert audio. I can also send this to a draft and retrieve it at any point, and many more options down here. This button here is where you go to enter the actual custom metadata if there is anything applicable. Additionally, there's the settings, which allows you to adjust the preferred workflow and also the speech mic and direct record settings here. And that is the ECMS recorder. Now let's jump in with the mobile app. So as you can see here, this is the ECMS mobile app. Now it is available on both iOS and Android. You type in your login information, select Remember Me to save in your login information, and it does also support both Touch and Face ID. Now the functionality, there is no configuration necessary. Once you're logged in, you're all set. To begin dictating, you must first either create a case or select an existing case from your drafts folder. Today we'll go and create a new case. So I just clicked on the plus button there at the bottom right. I will go ahead and enter in 1023 25. Now we have the ability to do a couple different things with this case number. We can automatically generate it for you. We can allow your team to enter in whatever number you'd like, enabling an enforcement of certain characters, a maximum limit, and so on. So this case number is extremely customizable and can be auto-generated. So as soon as I click save, it's going to bring me to the case view. So to begin recording, I can select this record icon here at the top left, which takes me right to the dictation screen. As soon as I click the button, it's going to prompt me for that custom metadata, which again is completely configurable. This app was built for both ease of use and customization in mind. So we can prompt for or require custom metadata, including the medical record numbers, case numbers, client names, whatever it may be. Now notice the audio waves and the counter. As soon as I click save here, it's going to take me right into that record screen. And notice the audio waves and the counter as I go through there. So the great thing about this app is as soon as I record, it's very easy to navigate within it. I can click this and drag within here to move the cursor back. And again, it allows me to go into the insert or overwrite mode as we just saw with the ECMS recorder. Now I have all these easy ways to control it using down here. I also have the ability to set the priority here. Once I click save at the bottom right, it's going to take me right back to that case view we just saw, which then will allow me to add more dictations or other attachments. Now this interview is the same as a dictation. It just allows for different Miranda right prompts and an organization of the recording into a different section, if you will. Now, in order to add attachments, I simply click on the image, and it's going to let me either choose to take a photo live or choose from my library. I'm going to go and select choose from my library. I'll select this view here, and then we'll see it'll pop right into the view. If I wanted to, I can actually click on it to get a better view, and then go back here. And the same thing would apply for all videos, documents to import from your phone, and then you also have the ability to add notes to the case itself. Now, this is all customizable. We can reduce these options or include more as needed. Once you're completed with the case altogether, you can click send. It'll move into the outbox, and depending on the amount of data, it's going to take a little bit longer with the photo and the recording here, but it will send through extremely quickly, typically in a matter of seconds. And once it's sent through, you can move over to the sent folder and see the dictation here. Now, from the send folder, I can stay in the know by keeping track of the status of all my dictations and cases by selecting one of the cases, selecting review, and then it's actually going to give me a detailed overview of each one of these recordings. So I can see both of them are ready for transcription here. Additionally, as you may have seen, if I click this, I can actually choose to append to a case as well, given that option. So if I go back to the send folder, I can click on this, and then I can actually choose to append and add extra data into that case, then send it through. Now, that is the ECMS mobile app. Let's go ahead and jump into, we've covered majority of the ways to interact and input data into the system. Let's take a look at the actual author portal, which will give you a lot more overview of how to actually interact with that data that we've now input. So within the author portal, there's a couple of key things here. So this will give me a general overview of the cases section of all the different areas of the case here. I'm going to refresh my screen. So from here, I can actually interact with the cases in a couple different ways. I can create a new case, or I can open existing cases by clicking on the plus icon. Now this is going to give me a general overview of the case and all the details within it. I can also edit some of the case details and do some more functionality we'll cover here shortly. Additionally, there is the paperclip icon, which would then get me into a case and allow me to actually input data as we were seeing here. So the interview, the uploader that we just covered, the recorder, and images and documents and such. Now, there's also a recordings section, which is going to break it down by recordings rather than by case. So this will show me all of the contents of the case by recordings. From here, I can actually select these files, and if I have the ability, I can send them to AI speech to text. Once I do so, it'll actually come back with this document icon. And this document icon is going to give me this AI speech to text that is returned. So of course, this is a very limited dictation here, but it does show me the AI speech to text, which the transcriptionist can also see on their side. From here, I can copy this text and paste it wherever I want, or make adjustments as needed. Now, I can also play back any audio files I'd like simply by clicking on this play icon here. And you actually have the ability to click on these individual audio recordings and edit any of the custom data associated with it. Now, we've covered a lot of the dictation functionality, but let's take a moment to take a look at more of the digital evidence management side of things. So as soon as I click inside, if I go back to the cases here, as soon as I open up one of these cases by clicking on the plus icon, it's going to give me a lot more functionality on the DEMS side of things. So there's three key functions on the DEMS currently. Now the first is the internal team sharing and contribution. So I can click on this internal sharing icon, and what that does is it gives me a full list of all the authors that are pre-existing in the system. From here, I can click any single one of them and select share. This then gives the ability for these authors to view the case from their author portal. You do also have the ability to contribute to other people's cases from the mobile app by simply entering in the same exact case number that is already existing. But as soon as I've shared this case, you'll notice that there's a new icon on the right-hand side, letting me know that it has been shared. Additionally, this will, now that it's been shared, the user will be able to see it within their shared cases section here. So if I move to the shared cases section, if I had any cases shared with me, this is where I would go to view those. Now coming back into the case to view the next function, it's going to be the external data sharing and viewing. Now this function is not quite complete yet, but what this will allow me to do as soon as I click on this icon is it will actually allow me to share the contents of a case with people outside of the system. Now from here, they would be able to actually download the content of the case or view it just like I can from this interface. And again, that's not fully fleshed out quite yet, but it is very soon a feature that will be available to everybody. The third and final current functionality of the DEM side of things is the external contribution. So by simply clicking on this icon here, I can enter in whatever email I'd like. It does not need to be an ECMS user. I can choose how long I want the link to be valid for, and this allows people to upload data to my case. So they can upload images, attachments, videos, and recordings as well to your case. And again, this can be sent to any single email, does not need to be an ECMS user. You do also have this ability to do it from the mobile app. Now, some features yet to come on the author side. It's going to be actively working. We're actively working on a fully integrated Word app called the Doc Editor, which allows you to automatically import the AI speech-to-text transcription that we were looking at earlier, and allow for easier corrections. Additionally, it will allow for document templates within this Doc Editor. If you wanted to have a specific document template for specific case reports or whatever else it may be. So that is the author side. We've now covered all the functionality associated with an ECMS author. Let's jump over to the typist end of things. So the typist access is all web-based as well, which means no configuration necessary. Once you're signed in, you're ready to transcribe. Now by default, it's going to take you to the My Jobs section. displaying all the jobs that are in your queue. So this is going to give the typist a general overview of all the audio that is out there to be transcribed. Now I can move over to the Share Jobs section with one single click, which shows me all the jobs that are available to type, as well as those we just saw in the My Jobs. I can adjust my view by ordering specific columns, ordering by specific columns. I can adjust the columns that are selected here easily. And I can also apply custom filters based on just about any data that is available here. Any searches applied above here will also apply a custom filter, which is saved and retained within your browser history. So from here, I can easily preview dictations by just simply clicking on the plus icon. Additionally, there's this icon on the right-hand side, which will open up the dictation and allow you to play it back. So as soon as I click on one of these dictations, let's find this one here. So as soon as I click on this dictation, it's going to open up the audio bar. And the ECMS audio bar is the application used by typists to transcribe the dictations. Now, the audio bar is customizable as well. There's going to be some detailed functionality that comes along with it. A big key feature with the audio bar is as soon as you open it up, it's going to pop up the AI speech-to-text transcription if it exists. And this will give me the ability to copy it out of here, as well as make some adjustments. Now, majority of these icons that we see up here are going to be controlled by the foot control. And again, we do support nearly all the standard foot controls. Now I can incomplete a transcription by clicking on this icon here. I can close it all together. Both do the same thing and will retain the position that I'm at within the dictation. I can also view the audio details from here simply by clicking on this and edit this data as well if I have that permission. I can edit custom data if I configure to have that permission. Additionally, I also have the ability to control some of these features by selecting the settings and adjusting the settings here. Now, once I'm at the end of the job, I am allowed to either click the complete icon here, or I can click the next and complete icon, which would then complete this dictation and move on to the next dictation in my queue. Now, I'm going to go ahead and close out of the audio bar, as that is all the functionality here. And from here on the typist portal, I actually have the ability to select multiple different jobs, and I can do multiple different things with them. I can deallocate them. I can deallocate them from myself. I can allocate them to others, or I can allocate them, deallocate them from myself. I can allocate to others, or I can allocate to myself. Now, if for any reason I needed to review a job I've already completed, I can easily do so by moving over here and into the completed jobs folder. Now, some key things that I want to note, you may have picked up on the pop-up that appeared in the bottom right when I opened the audio bar, and that would be the desktop notifications. So ECMS does have some very complex notification functionality. Allows me to easily configure both email and desktop alerts, which can get as granular as you want. So you can see here all my jobs, all the shared jobs, and I can actually filter by any specific data that that is desired. Now, I talked about the doc editor icon, the application with the author that will very soon be available for the typist as well, which will give them a bit more functionality as far as the AI speech to text goes. And it is a fully integrated typist application within Word. So it's just the typical Word, the classic Word that you're used to, with the typist audio bar at the very top. Now that is the typist side of ECMS. We will go ahead and move on to the last portion, which is the admin side. So by default, you'll be brought into the overview or the dashboard view here at the top left. Now this will, this gives you just a general overview of all the data associated with the system. So all the total recordings, any activity within the system. And this is completely customizable per user request. So we can, add these widgets or remove them as desired. We're going to move on to the file management, which gives you fine-tuned ability to have a complete overview and detailed access to all the cases, as well as all the recordings within said cases. So from here, as an admin, I can actually deallocate content, I can allocate cases, and so on. I can also preview dictations just as any other user would be able to, view the case details within it or the recording details, and see the speech-to-text, AI speech-to-text. Now, the reports and messages and notifications, there's still a lot to be done here. There's a lot to be flushed out with the reports and messages, but we are actively working on getting some very granular, finely detailed reports, as well as some additional messages and notifications, such as, security alerts if anything were to occur, and or if dictations recordings become overdue. Now, jumping into the settings, this is where a lot of the workflow and user management is done. Now, this will also be where you come to get a detailed audit log history. So this includes all the events and any logs that occur within the system. There's also some security settings, so some detailed account settings, such as enforcing passwords, an overview of the account info, and also some two-factor authentication settings. And that really is the high-level overview of the admin side of ECMS. And we've covered now the 3 primary roles associated with the ECMS platform. Now, being ECMS is still on the cutting edge of development, we're still actively working on some of those things that I mentioned, including some of the more detailed user guides and documentations. We do already have some of that, but there's going to be more to come. Additionally, we do easily have the ability to create custom API integrations per request. One of the first things that will be ready is the Windows single sign-on integration. And with that, we have covered ECMS and all of its functionality. I will go ahead and pass things back to Beth.
Thank you, Tate. If you would like to learn more about ECMS or get started, please reach out to us. You can visit our website at northlandsys.com/ECMS. You can email us at solutions@northlandsys.com or call us at 800-894-4204. We're here to assist you in getting started, and we'd like you to discover how ECMS can help your agency improve documentation, protect evidence, and stay compliant. I'd like to thank everyone for their attention today, and I'd now like to open the floor for any questions that you may have. As a reminder, if you do have a question, please enter it into the questions box. We do have a few that have come through. Is the data encrypted at rest and in transit?
Yes, so ECMS does follow all the typical CJIS and HIPAA certifications regarding proprietary encryption and all of that good stuff. Great question.
Okay. Is there a retention policy on data? For example, how long is the data stored within the system?
Another great question, and again, ECMS is all about that customization. So it's completely up to the account level, as well as even getting as granular as per job type. So there is the ability to set that retention period.
Okay. You did mention that there was an API. Do you have some examples of what third-party integrations that the system will work with?
So in general, ECMS can function with just about any API available. It's just about how your team wants it to function. And that's the primary thing, is how you want it to look. So some examples would be with CAD systems we've already looked at, the Windows single sign-on integrations, an AD integration. Those are some primary examples of things that we are actively working through with certain accounts.
Okay. The last question I currently have is, what type of training is provided for officers and administrators?
We do some very detailed training. We already have quite a few training resources, such as videos and websites, but we do offer a one-on-one training sessions as needed, as well as group sessions.
Okay. Well, that looks to be all the questions that we have for today. I'd like to thank everybody for their attendance. Thank you, Tate, for demonstrating ECMS. We look forward to touching base with you. Have a great rest of your day.